Hi, welcome to the Louie File. You know, I was thinking about priest. You know, I've never been a Catholic or involved in a church that had priests. But there's an interesting thing in the book of Hebrews where it compares the Old Covenant priesthood to a brand new priesthood. In fact, in Hebrews chapter 7, we get a few details about a man named Melchizedek and a priesthood in the order of Melchizedek. And it's basically telling us, referencing back to an old story in the book of Genesis with Abraham, and he met a man named Melchizedek. And it said he had no beginning or end, it had no mother and father, he had no family lineage to speak of. He just kind of shows up with Abraham, and they do what they do, and then he disappears. Well, in Hebrews chapter 7, the author of Hebrews is telling us that Jesus is a priest in the order of Melchizedek, and he's comparing it to the priesthood, the Levitical priesthood. And it says that, let me just read a few verses here. In Hebrews 7, verse 11, it says, "Now if perfection was through the Levitical priesthood, for on the basis of it the people received the law, what further need was there for another priest to arise according to the order of Melchizedek and not be designated according to the order of Aaron? For when the priesthood is changed of necessity, there takes place a change of law also, for the one concerning whom these things are spoken belongs to another tribe, from which no one is officiated at the altar. For it is evident that our Lord was descended from Judah, a tribe with reference to which Moses spoke nothing concerning priests." Isn't that something? "And this is clearer still, if another priest arises according to the likeness of Melchizedek, who has become such not on the basis of a law of physical requirement, but according to the power of an indestructible life." So he's saying that a new priesthood and a new priest has been introduced because we got a new law, we got a new covenant. The Old Testament had the Levitical priesthood, and it was passed from father to son. As the priest died, then his son would take up that role after him. But we're talking now about a new priesthood, and we're talking about a priesthood that will never go away. Because Jesus will never die. He will ever live to intercede for us. That's what I'm talking about. But here's the interesting thing. Jesus, according to the flesh, being Jewish, was from the tribe of Judah. And just like the text said, no one ever officiated as a priest coming from the tribe of Judah, because they had to be a descendant of Aaron. So Jesus, check this out, Jesus as a human being, while he walked this earth, he wouldn't have been qualified to be a priest. And yet, God has made him our priest in the line of Melchizedek by the power of an indestructible life forever. He'll never have anybody come after him. In fact, you know, in the Old Testament, the priest could never sit down because his work was never finished. He just constantly having to do some work. But with Jesus, it says that he has sat down. He entered the Holy of Holies and took a seat. And now he's just waiting for his enemies to be made his footstool. Now that is some good news. So he ever lives to intercede for us. He is always present. He's always awake. And the job is done. All he's doing now is waiting for it to be all wrapped up. That's it. That's all he's doing. So we can cry out to our heavenly priest 24/7. And we know for a fact that he is on the job. He is there. And he's going to be there forever. No one's ever going to take his job from him. That's some pretty good news. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you later.